Hi everyone. So my name's Jeff Westrop. For those of you who I haven't met, I live in Southern California, Laguna Hills to be precise. I am going to take a different approach to this forum. I'm going to do a video. Hopefully you won't get too bored by it. So I'm here in my backyard, which I'm using as my ecological system to build a course activity, or a course more specifically, for students to understand ecological integrity. What I'm about to show you, is going to be my backyard and my front yard and my whole yard, which over the years my wife and I have transformed from a traditional grass irrigated landscape to a natural Southern California landscape. We don't have any more irrigation. We took all the irrigation out. As you know, Southern California is water poor. So we've been trying over the years. We've lived here for 25 years. We've been working very hard to make this a more sustainable microenvironment. So with that said, I'm going to take you around my yard and show you some things and explain what this activity would be for the students in the class that I want to construct. Okay, so this is my backyard. My grandchildren live with me, with my son, and my other son visits from time to time, and he lives in this tiny house back here. So what we have, most of these plants that you see here, I'm just going to walk around so you get a feel for the yard. This used to all be grass. There used to be a hill back here. So all these plants I'm showing you, but 90% of them are native. This is my wife's little succulent garden. It's her little paradise. She likes to hang out by this garden. And then the rest of this, except for the orange tree and the nectarine tree, which is over there, the rest of this is mostly native, about 90% native. So this used to all be grass. It used to all be irrigated every day. This used to be concrete. We tore out some concrete so we could put in some more plants and some more trees. So that would be a little paradise for us to hang out in. So I'm going to get into what happened to this environment as we started to build it. But let me take you around to the front. Again, we planted trees out here. Our neighborhood didn't have trees. There's no trees on the edges of the properties, but the city was gracious enough. They actually have a program to plant trees around the edges of the properties, and that's what you see there. Most of those are native. A couple of them are not. And then out front here, we have more native plantings, except for that big tree right there that is not native, but it is beautiful. But the other stuff around the edges is native plants. Okay, here is my garden, my vegetable garden, one of them, and we'll get back to that. Here's where I grow lettuce, and we'll get back to that. That falls in line with the sustainability ideas that we've been learning about, which I've been learning about, which I really have been enjoying. So, the first part of the course that I want to develop for the students, sorry, that's my granddaughter right there. Say hello, Mia. Hi. Is a visit to this ecosystem. Of course, it's a micro ecosystem. So I would explain some of the plants to the students. I know everyone was moved by the wolves program. I was too. That would be a part of this class program. I would share that story with the students, the video, of course. And then we would take a tour of our little system in my yard and explain to them how this all works. So, one of the main things about this system, I forgot to show you the other garden. There's another vegetable garden. So we try very hard to grow food. As you all know, you sometimes buy lettuce and it sits in your refrigerator and it just rots. So I grow a lot of lettuce. I grow a lot of kale so that we don't have to waste food. We don't have to waste transportation costs of food. You can imagine how much it costs to send vegetables from California just over to Massachusetts. Probably quite costly. So we try to get out of that business. And then the last garden here, this is our orchard. There's 2 plum trees, a peach tree, an apple tree, and a strawberry guava. Okay, so that would be the first part of the program. The second part of the program would involve gardening. And at my campus, I have just been appointed the caretaker of our SOCA instructional garden, which is a place where the professors tried to help the students understand about growing vegetables sustainably. So the interesting thing that happened in this environment was before we planted all these native trees, my garden did not do well. Rats came, slugs came, all sorts of pests came and ate my garden every single year. I would have to put out different types of preventative measures, which were often chemical based. I lost a dog because I put out snail bait and my dog ate the snail bait. I almost lost a second dog because I thought I bought snail bait that was pet friendly, but alas it was not. So I almost lost 2 pets. And that's when I really started to get into sustainable living. So we put in these native gardens. We have no pet. We had rats, lots of mice that used to eat our plants. Now we have none. The only thing that has changed in this environment is the planting of native species. I haven't changed my fertilizers. I haven't changed locations. I haven't changed the plants that I grow. You can see I have a pretty healthy garden. It's now March. Those are my potatoes. My tomatoes, you can see this is a very healthy garden that I have here. I have a few pests. They ate some of my cabbage, but it was minimal. I get some local critters like aphids and stuff, but for the most parts, my vegetable plants thrive. So once the students have seen this environment and I've been able to share with them what I can about what I've done here and kind of the economics of doing this, because I think it's really important as educators that we teach what the economic benefits of living sustainably is. And they're pretty substantial. I can tell you from doing my own garden, you see, let's see, electric cars, that's a Chevy Volt, that's a Nissan Leaf, that's another Nissan Leaf. So there are enormous economic benefits to living sustainably. So that will be a part of this effort to teach the students. The second part of the course will be for the students to grow their own food in our SOCA institutional garden. Learning, I like to use AI. A lot of professors don't like to use AI. I think AI is a fantastic tool. I know it has its problems. I know it has its kind of dark side, but there's a really good side to AI. You can learn a whole lot really quickly when you're trying to do something like plant a garden. And you can learn the benefits of doing that, and you can learn a whole lot about how eco-gardening can actually change climate, the climate troubles we're having. I'll just give you one example, and you can look it up. 90% of the garlic not grown in the United States, 90% of the garlic consumed in the United States comes from China. And there's other things that AI is really able to teach us quickly about why that's a problem is obvious. 90% of the garlic coming from China, it has to be put on a boat and shipped over here. If 1 million people in America grew their own garlic, it would save. I actually did the calculations online on Gemini, which is the Google AI. I forget it, but it's an enormous amount of carbon that's taken out of the environment. So So that's basically it. I don't want to take up too much of your time. It's already too long. So thank you. I hope this is informative. I hope it's well taken. I might do it again in the future.